Okay, we're pleased to be joined by SMC board member and former board member of this club, Tom Peters. Tom, thanks so much for joining us. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're running for re-election?
Well, yeah, my involvement in politics has been I love Santa Monica for one thing. I'm from Detroit. Some of you know that, some of you don't. But I was at a steel mill for 30 years and heavily involved with that union. And when I got to Santa Monica College and started teaching, the Faculty Association noticed that I had this background and took me on as their political director, whose job I think all of you know is to find union-friendly candidates for those board members that might not be as um, uh, attuned to the three unions we have at the college. And so I ran Dennis Frisch as a challenger, and we come within 1,000 votes of Andrew Walzer at the time, which is no easy feat. And when I when I retired in 2020, it was like no question I was going to run in the next election, and I was lucky enough to find an empty seat. And with that, it was I had backing by the FA that I might not have this time, but I'm willing to raise the money, and I switched treasurers. I'm so glad I got Debbie Mulvaney. She's really sharp. I went with a suggestion of Barry Snell's, and that was not a perfect relationship, but it changed, and here I am. I mean, I am excited to jump into this and keep doing what I'm doing. I'm proud of the record of what I did for the last 4 years.
Great, thanks so much. Well, let's start with the questions. I saw in your questionnaire you said that the board steps to right uh, the budgetary ship were a year or two late, in your opinion. But you've been serving on the board for 4 years now. So why do you think it took so long for the board to address these issues? And if someone is concerned about what has happened here, why should they trust that you're good to continue managing that budget?
Well, you have to understand when you come on a board, especially with some very experienced board members that have been on the board for 20 plus years, three of them, and I spent the first year what I was, when I went to Sacramento a few times for conferences, they um, they pretty much advise trustees to into a listening mode and um, try to build um, some consensus from within, and that takes a while. I was viewed as, obviously the the faculty union pick for the job, and so it was it was so strange because in their mind, in most people's minds, it was like, oh, he'll vote exactly, the way the faculty association wants him to. And my relationship with the president of the college was shaky to begin with, and it only got better later after uh, I um, it. Okay, let me back up a little bit. When I was elected, I went to the faculty association president. They're all the chief negotiator. They're all good friends of mine. So I went to them and said, "Look, let's meet on Fridays before the meetings and give me some of the issues so I can go into these meetings well informed." Well, bless, you know, I like the way Peter Morris put this. He said, "Tom, we'll try to do that, but I think we just want you to be yourself." So I felt pretty liberated to do, that was a high compliment. So I was gonna just go into it not having I really wanted those meetings because you can read a whole agenda and not know what what the concerns of the union are. But it takes a long time as Nancy would teach me. Nancy Greenstein is wonderful. She's been a mentor of mine, and she would teach me to just count to four. And so I wasn't sure I had four votes until the last year of starting last February when we had difficult votes to make. And before that, the natural leaders were the experienced ones, and I watched things just get worse and worse.
I really appreciate your perspective there. Keith?
Uh, Thanks. Hi
Hi,
there, Tom. How you doing?
hi, good, thanks.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Um, well, you've known now for some time that community college budgets are, very structural in nature, like the local, uh, state, federal kind of sources and things such as that. And there are a lot of things that are systematized that may offer challenges to the budget, which where this college is now. So in times like this, when these kind of systems are in place and things that are structural that you can't really perhaps change or turn on a dime, one has to kind of think outside the box. And in this particular case, one might say find new revenue streams. So I'm curious about your thoughts as it relates to either short term, medium term, and perhaps long term alternative, innovative revenue streams or applications that the college can look towards, perhaps with new kind of partnerships, especially in this really diverse and robust California ecosystem that we have here.
Well, I think you're talking exactly what we need to do. We in the past partnerships have been good for us, and but they've been centered in certain departments, and we need something more campus wide, something big out of uh, out of the techs, the real revenue generators in the state could help us more. And I think it's we haven't done enough lobbying to these well, I shouldn't say that. Howard Stahl did a great job. He's chair of business. He went to Amazon, found out about cloud computing, and lo and behold, we're coming upon um, a, a bachelor's program, our second bachelor's program that will be cloud computing. So we need more of that. I mean, we've been forced to resize because of many factors that made us a smaller, made our enrollment go from 33,000 to about 26,000. But nothing had been done to right the ship. But you're exactly right. If we're going to grow, the students aren't coming out of the high schools. There's not as many. So the normal regular streams like international students, non-resident students, they've all dried up on us through too many reasons. There's nobody to blame other than a very complex economy and things that have happened. But you're exactly right. We need, I like to think the search committee is going to find a new president with these big ideas. And I think what the new president needs, and I used to tell Catherine when I first got on board and just what it fell on deaf ears, I said, you have to have an executive vice president to run the college while you be a president. And her excuse for not doing that was that she wanted to save the district money, which is noble, but it was also not a good move. The last three presidents have had always the executive vice president as as the person that would watch over the college, the daily operations. So he or she, as president, could be out there doing exactly what you're talking about, talking to the anybody and everybody in California that could help us with apprenticeship programs, internship, whatever. So, yeah, you're right, and I'm going to put plenty of pressure on the new president to do that. I didn't put enough pressure on Catherine, and I will on the next president.
Well, thanks for your vision and your continued leadership.
Thanks, Keith.
Anybody else? Well, while we're talking about the new president, I mean, what kind of qualities are you looking for? Whether it's whether you get reelected first or whether it happens in the next few months, what kind of qualities are you looking for in the new president of the college?
Well, I'm really concerned with the whole search process because we hired a really good consultant, widely known, really smart. I researched the folks that are involved, the principals in that firm, and they come out, the very first thing they said was they wanted the vice chair to chair the search committee, which traditionally we haven't had a board member on the search committee, and it got stifled. Well, out and out, the more experienced experienced board member said that's just not going to happen. But what I saw there was that consultant knew my background and knew that if I was on the search committee, everyone would, all the stakeholders would be there, but they would hear from a board member that what the college really needs is somebody to come in and really shake things up. I mean, shake things up from the top. I think that we've made some cuts to senior staff. We have some fine people on senior staff, and we have some that are not, that may need to be either held accountable or let go. And that's not going to happen now, I don't think, because there's nobody there saying what board members know. You only know what you know. And what I've learned since I've been a board member is we know things in closed session that I wish I could not know. I just watch what you ask for. I wanted to be in the room, and I get in a room, and it should be padded. I mean, it's not fun at all. And I try to sit patiently and like I say, get that count to 4 to get what I want. But I'm just afraid the board member that poo-pooed the idea of me being on it was also a board member that asked for it not to be concluding in November. This board member wanted it done in September. And I said at the time that if we're going to rush through this and it's a weak pool, I am going to lobby to turn them back and go at it again. And that board member got really ticked off at me because she thought I was, going to make this harder than it is. But I think we're rushing through it, and I'm just afraid we're not going to get a very good choice in our final interviews. I already said too much.
Well, I appreciate your candor. Sean?
Hey, Tom, it was actually great seeing you at LA Pride this year.
Yeah, it's great seeing you, Sean.
I wanted to ask about the LGBT community and what your advocacy for LGBT equality inclusion has been over the years, and also kind of what you see the role of the colleges to kind of provide additional support to diverse students and LGBTQ students specifically.
Well, I mean, one of the big construction jobs in the middle of the campus right now is, believe it or not, I mean, the restrooms is a big deal. It's very symbolic of our support for the community, and I've always been strongly behind the support. And what we need to do is in student services, it needs to be ramped up. In student services, we got a new vice president of student success, and just like all the other constituents in the student clubs and organizations, and that they just need to be protected. They need to feel safe on campus, and like I say, at every turn, I'd want to ramp up any services we can to make this students feel safe on campus.
Okay, thank you. Any additional questions? Okay, well, do you want to say a couple closing words?
Oh, great. Oh, well, at that I have enjoyed my whole experience in the Dem Club. I think John, you've um, turned it around when you come on board. I like the activist position that the Dem Club takes, and I think they're an important player, and that's why I'm asking for their endorsement. It's huge. Um, I've been involved with it way before you were even there, and I could see the change that was needed, and it came, and you stepped up to the plate, and I really appreciate it. Um, so yeah, I'm asking for support, and I thank you all for taking the time to do these interviews. And by the way, the questionnaire set me up. It was so thorough that I feel ready for SMER and all the other interviews. SEPS is next week, and having to have write all those answers really informed me, and I appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate the kind words and your mentorship early on as well. By the way, Tom was the first guy who started thinking of the idea we should record the meeting. So for anyone who's watching this on YouTube right now, who watched all the way until the end of this interview, it's Tom you have to thank. But okay, thanks, Tom. Appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah, I appreciate all of you. Thank you very much. Take care.